he and his criminal runs the city. Much of the crime, prostitution, drugs that's going on in the city of Boston could be easily traced back to him. A direct product of his own making. See, he has a purpose. Costello has a philosophy in life. You can either be a pawn on a chessboard and be moved and, used to act in different ways, or you could be the master of the chessboard, Or to quote Heisenberg, the one who knocks. Remember that one, right? Yeah, Breaking Bad. I'll give you a little bit of context in which that quote was uttered. So Costello gathers the Irish children of the neighborhood in his garage, and he starts instructing them, educating them, for the future that awaits them. Future mobs, of course. And he was talking to them about the issue he takes with black people in America. And he says, I quote, "If I got one thing against the black chappies, it's this. No one gives it to you. You have to take it." You see, Costello believes that black people are somehow responsible for their own predicaments, that the situation in which they exist, being socially disadvantaged and second-class citizens, they're somehow responsible for that because they're docile, they don't do much to help themselves. While he, the Irishman, and his countrymen, they take matters into their own hands. They take action. They're rogues above the law, and they do as they please. And he's got a point, you gotta admit, although he's a criminal. But strip Costello and his quotes out of context, and you're left with a universal truth that man, capital M, can change and mold the reality around him or her. She has that capacity. If so, he or she pleases, of course. And that's all around us. We see it, right? Millions, if not billions of people today live their lives a certain way, precisely because somebody somewhere makes a decision, right? Creates an app, builds a new iPhone, right? Invents AI. It's a decision of one particular person somewhere. And it affects the lives of millions of people. But I'm here today to argue that that is not the only form of power at play. There are different power paradigms that are worthy of exploration and worthy of mention. And in failing to recognize that, in failing to perceive that that is not the only form of power, we risk being lethargic. We risk giving up and saying, there isn't much I can do, because I gotta be a billionaire to change things. Well, I'm here to disagree and to convince you otherwise. If power could be defined as the capacity